Good morning. Hi, Phil McPhail here again with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Hey, are you looking for an affordable building site in central Maine? Do you really like country living, but you don't want to be so far off the beaten path that you can't get the conveniences or commute to your job here in central Penobscot County? Well, if that's what you're looking for, come along with me today. We're going to take a look at this 3.9 acre lot right here on the Howland Road in the town of LaGrange. Folks, before we jump off into the woods, I also wanted to tell you we've got 348 feet of frontage according to the survey out here on Howland Road. Property was surveyed years ago. We did find one corner stake. The other one I couldn't find, but we did find some old evidence of boundary ribbon from probably the surveyor. We're going to take a walk in the woods here, but before we do, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like and share the video, and if you please hit that subscription button down below, put on all notifications. You won't miss the next video that we put out. I just want to point out we do have electricity and telephone roadside. All right, we're going to jump onto the land now. I did want to point out there is a pretty decent ditch here. The state has maintained this road very well in this section, actually rebuilt it not too many years ago. You are going to need a culvert right here to cross the road, and you will need a Department of Transportation driveway entrance permit. And if you don't know what that is, feel free to give me a call. If you do know what it is, share it in the comments down below, and I can help you with that if this is a lot you want to buy. So I'm going to jump across the ditch here. We're going to go in and take a look at this 3.9 acres. And once you get off the edge of the road, which is quite thick, the land does open up quite nicely. There's a lot of older trees in here. The only stumps I see from any timber harvest are probably 50 years old, so this has been growing up pretty well over the years. But as you can see, there's not a lot of underbrush. We're in here about 50 feet off the road right now. We've got a mixture of trees. We've got some hemlock. We've got beech. I saw a beautiful pine in here earlier that I'll show you. We've got some balsam fir growing in here. The ground is pretty level. I think our elevations are in the mid 400s above sea level, but there's not a big change in elevation from the road to the back of the lot. So it's really nice and level, even going ground. This lot was soil tested back in the 1990s. Soil tests are only valid for a couple of years up here in Maine, but typically there's no problem getting a new one done. And I don't see any reason with what I'm seeing here for vegetation and tree growth. This should pass the soil test. If you're concerned, you can certainly get that done prior to closing on the land. We're back in the woods now. We're about probably 100 feet off the road, and I want to just see this big hemlock. I can't get my arms around this, so this beautiful tree. Over to my left, I got a pine tree that's half again bigger than this and quite a bit taller. Pine typically grows a little taller. You can see some really nice spruce tree right here behind me that's probably 40, 50 feet tall, very straight, and it's a solid 14, 16 inches in diameter. So there's some really nice trees in here. We'll go for a walk up in the back here. Let me tell you a little bit about the location. We're located at 708 Howland Road. And how did I get that address? Well, the Department of Transportation does have a GIS system, and when you don't have an actual building on site, typically you're not going to get a 911 address for a bare piece of land. So what I did is I clicked on this location on the DOT site, and it gives me a number. So when you actually buy the property, build your house, it's going to be close, but it probably won't be perfect, just so you know. All right, here's another one of these pines. And like I said, this one, you and I probably could get our arms around it together. Beautiful tree, a little bit of sweep in it, but pretty nice looking tree. What I can see in here is if you come in and you thin it out, take out some of the beech, which the beech typically are perfect firewood, but they're all diseased up here in Maine for the most part. So get rid of those. Take out some of the balsam fir, leave these big hemlocks, these big pines, some of the big spruce, and the other hardwoods that's in here, and it'll be a beautiful lot. It'll look like a park in here, and it won't take a lot of effort. If you got a crew that'll come in with a forestry mulcher or whatnot, it could be beautiful in a day. So I'll tell you a little more about the location. We're located out here in the country in the town of LaGrange, but we're only about 7 miles off I-95. So if you've got a job in, say, Bangor, which is about 33 miles away, or maybe Lincoln's about 21 or so. What a perfect location this would be to build your home, You know, there's not many restrictions here. If you want to put in a mobile home, you certainly could and make it even more affordable. This is one of the cheapest lots you're probably going to find that's got year-round access, electricity, and doesn't look like a bomb went off from a timber harvest. This is just a beautiful lot. You can still see big spruce. We got more big hemlock. I got a hard maple over here to my left. Real pretty property. Mother Nature is thinning it, as you can see, the balsam fir that's dead here in the understory that just got choked out by the bigger trees. Got another huge hemlock over here. Really nice spot. So, like I said, we're 33 miles from the city of Bangor. Portland's about 165, 66 miles from here, probably 2 hours and 20 minutes. Boston's is less than a 5-hour drive. I think it's 4 hours and 30 minutes roughly from this location. So whether you're going to live here year round, maybe have yourself a little seasonal place up here in the woods, and we've got some other things in the area I'm going to tell you about next. So we've got several really large lakes in this region of Maine. And if you're not familiar with them, we got Coldstream Pond over to our east, and that's about 13 miles from here. West of us, we've got Schoodic Lake and Sebec Lake. Schoodic's about 20 miles to the boat landing, and the nearest boat landing on Sebec's about 22 miles from here. Those are three glacially carved great ponds, we call them here in Maine. They're large lakes. They're all over 3,000 acres. I think Coldstream's 3,600 acres. Schoodic is probably 7,000 acres, and I think Sebec is pretty close to that too. So we've got some really cool water. Beyond that, just down the road in the town of Howland is where the Penobscot River and the Piscataquis River systems come together. Piscataquis is a tributary to the Penobscot. We've got some great boating opportunities, paddling, kayaks, canoes, bass fishing, unbelievable. We still have a small run of Atlantic salmon coming up the Penobscot River. The Piscataquis River's got some trout fishing in it and smallmouth bass. So if you like water, great part of Maine to be in. Okay, so go out 7 miles, hit I-95, 20 miles south of that, we come to the University of Maine Orono campus. That's Maine's largest university, Division I school. Got football, hockey, basketball, men and women's sports both. And we also have some great class opportunities. Maybe you're going to work at the University of Maine. You might want to call this lot up here in the country your home. You can be to work in less than 30 minutes. All right, I've never been accused of being a tree hugger, but this hemlock right here is a monster. I'll bet you that tree is 200 years old. Beautiful. Straight, limby like hemlock usually is, but what a nice looking tree. And come up here and look at this with me, folks. These trees are scattered all over the lot. There's one behind me here that was even bigger, but I would say it finally died of old age. I can see where it broke off, and it's laying down here decaying on the forest floor, but a lot of big old growth trees in here. Definitely worth coming to take a look. Hey, thanks for coming along on the tour with me today to take a look at this 3.9 acres located here at 708 Howland Road in the town of LaGrange. And for all you people in the comments that have been asking for a more affordable piece of property, this is it. Don't wait. If you're really looking for it, I would call me today. 207-290-0372 on my cell. Let's wrap this up. Price on this property is $30,000. We've got paved year-round road front. We've got electricity and telephone lines, roadside. We've got a nice level lot with some beautiful old growth timber. This is not going to last, folks. Call me today.